Now, I want to talk about why it's difficult to uh, get a Muslim in trouble for being a terrorist. Now, it's obvious that the literal definition of Islam, from their texts, requires terrorism from its members. Okay, the ones that do it, they're not the extremists, they're just the ones that are following it as it's written. It's obvious. Now, they try to make stuff up and act like there are other interpretations and stuff like that. Like Christianity has all these denominations. They'll try to act like they interpret it differently. But the book's available to read. You can find where it says that it's violent. You can find where it says that they are supposed to lie about its purpose and its violent nature to try to infiltrate. So the United States, even though religions follow a text, the Bible is for Christianity, the Quran is for Islam, stuff like that. The United States does not have a definition of the text. So you would think since everybody's reading the same Bible, there's only one literal definition of what it's saying, and that should be recognized by the government. Well, the Bible has a lot of contradictions in it, so, different definitions arise because it doesn't even have one consistent definition. But aside from that, the government just doesn't define religions. So with Islam, it has a text, you read the text had meaning, the writer had intention on what he was writing. It's blatantly clear, based on language and, logic that it's telling people to be violent and it's telling people to lie about it. But the government doesn't recognize that. They act like there are other interpretations of it and there's no clear meaning. They don't define religions. So you can't just designate a Muslim as a terrorist just because they say they're Muslim. There should be a literal definition of the text, and if someone says they follow this text, well, the text says that they're a terrorist, and that's all you need. But they just don't do that. So you actually have to find them admitting to the principles in the text that define them as a terrorist, and then you can get them in trouble. Now, the problem is they're told to lie about it. They're in the text, it tells them to lie. They communicate with each other. They tell each other how to lie about it, and they do lie about it. So when you ask them about their religion, they're usually giving you a false version. It's hard to gather evidence on their conspiring, and it's hard to get them to admit it.